Alright, hello to all my guys, gals, and non-binary pals out there across the electrical ocean. This is Jazzman back with a game. We've got Phayshift playing full faction Shattered Peaks, and over here we've got entropy222 playing full faction Underdepths. Seeming like it's going to be Moga versus Goblins. Yep, definitely Moga here from Phayshift. And then Goblins for Entropy. I haven't seen too many Goblin players since Tiny left on another one of his famous hiatuses. He was playing Goblins for a bit, kind of got people realizing how good they were before disappearing into obscurity yet again. But Goblins versus Moga is going to be it's an interesting matchup because both teams are really cheap. Moga have a lot of cheap shit, Goblin champions are really cheap, and they've got camaraderie too on the Brute. The Goblin Brute that used to be completely garbage is now actually a viable champion in the year of our Lord 2023, imagine that. But Moga here on this map are nice because you can send something like a trapper or whatever up to this top font, or you're basically just a cheap guy, and then your opponent has to defend against some shitty little Moga while they contest mid, or even through the bot side. But and yeah, see already a double deploy coming out for Phayshift, so Entropy will have to be on guard of his fonts for most of this game. But then again, Goblins, they can just deploy something cheap as well. The Blue Flame Arsonist is nice. He's pretty cheap, 62 Nora. And I would really like to see a world where alternate art versions of runes actually had their visual effects updated to match that art. Imagine if Blue Flame Arsonist were to use an Annihilate or something, and then it would be blue instead of red. That would be pretty neat. But Gurren Soothsayer coming in a little bit too soon, in my opinion. I would have... it seems like a waste of the premonition to deploy it so early, but Soothsayer is still fairly a strong champion in Moga. He's got Surge. One of the few actual Surge champions left. Basically, you'd only run the Geharon that do have Surge, like the Birth Mother and the Tyrant. And the Tyrant's really good now, but there's really, aside from the Overseer, of course, but there's really, you'd really prefer to prioritize the Surging Geharon over the non-Surging ones. There's a Stealth champion here, Moga Creeper, there we go, for Phayshift. So I'm hoping that he sends it up top. I like to see people harass fonts on this map, because they are preferably bot side. The top font is a little close to the shrine, so it's kind of hard to get an efficient harass going, and reinforcements can just show up pretty much instantly. But on the bot side, it does take at least 2 turns for a champion to get down there, if you manage to sneak in their font. And as far as I'm aware, Goblins don't have an innate detection champ. Though I could be wrong, I haven't played much with the theme. Of course, they can steal it from champions that have it, like this Soothsayer does have a Detection 3 upgraded. So we will see. Currently there's only, basically just one Thievery champion out, so we'll only be getting one yoinking the ability so far. And Moga Chef going to be the standard bearer, basically Geharon General's bitch, standing there protecting him from range and whatnot. I think Designate Flag Bearer is really it's a crazy ability. It's basically like the Savage Tundra flag that got changed, except it doesn't give Iron Will. Instead, it gives improved speed, which is great for your Moga because if they're not around a Geharon, they get -1 speed. But if they're in improved speed range, that sort of counters that a bit. So Babbler, I don't know if I'd run Babbler in Moga. Babbler just doesn't seem to do as much as, I'd run Hooligan if I want a cheap nuisance of a champion. But then there's a lot of competing slots in Moga because they have a lot of champions to choose from, for one thing. But a lot of them are really cheap, so a lot of them kind of tend to overlap roles. They kind of have one thing that they do well, like the Spell Snare is really good at countering spells, and then the Slinger is really good range, and then that's sort of all it does. And they're a little bit binary, but the Geharons sort of make up for that. And Rager is also not a champion I'd typically see. He does have Berserker, but of course with only 5 speed, he doesn't get that coveted 8 speed that a lot of decks tend to favor. And especially in Moga, an 8-speed champion would go crazy for them. I know the Zealot can maybe get 8 speed when it's around a Geharon, but naturally it just has 7. So the leap in here, that distracting aura, though, is going to be very useful for countering stuff like the Spellkaiser, who has a ton of active abilities. And of course, the Cropsic can't steal anything when it's within that range. But the problem for Moga versus Underdepths is that Moga just, they have like no defensive abilities really. Like you set up this flag bearer a little bit too far back, in my opinion. I think if you were to keep that chef like up in the font a little bit, he could have offered that protection to Babbler. In addition to his, yeah, see, like he's moving into range, right? Like he's moving out of range of his defensive auras and moving, you know, into Entropy's face here. So that flag bearer was a little bit premature, I think. Getting some damage in though onto that Cropsic, trying to prevent the imbibement from neutering his other Moga. I think an antagonize is a little bit unnecessary, since the Cropsic does only have 9 damage against Geharon General's at 7. His boldness giving him that additional stat buff. You know, Gloombringer can get in here. He's 1 to 3 range now. I think he used to be a ranged, like an actual ranged unit, like 3 to 6 or something when he was first released, and he had the Life Siphon Leech Vitality combo too. But what was that? Oh yeah, that was a Magic Beam. Okay. Never... Did it have its sound effect changed? I feel like it didn't used to make that noise. Babbler going to die here, actually, to the Arsonist's attacks. And the Arsonist is basically like the glass cannon of goblins. He's got a shit ton of damage with the burn. You can actually take burn 3 if you really want. But yeah, after that incoherent babbling aura goes away, Cropsic will be free to do as he pleases. It looks like Entropy is actually trying to attack the general. Of course, that's not going to happen. He's thoroughly antagonized by that Babbler. And it's a real shame too, because Magic Beam was a nice counter to Bold, but he won't be able to make a double kill here without spell help. She could. I'm thinking like Superiority plus. It would be a lot of Nora you'd have to spend on it. 15 is kind of an awkward number. Usually like 12 and under is a good sweet spot for a spell kill, like Fire Blast does 12. Superiority does 12 as well. Well, it might actually do 13 or... It might still do 13 or 14. Now remember, it's been nerfed a few times. Yeah, that Chef, not going to be very useful, just sort of standing back. The Babbler will die to the burn, but that will leave Phayshift the opportunity to gather the globe. Yeah, I don't know, it feels like... okay, well, there's a Fire Blast. That's not gonna kill. Wait, it says Charred... Fire Blast doesn't char 3, it chars 2. Am I reading that wrong? Yeah, see, yeah, it only did 2 damage. Interesting. The effect said 2. The effect said 3 there, but it actually just changed to 1. So he is on 1 HP. Maybe we'll see a return kill on this Arsonist. Alternatively, he could kill the Cropsic and then do a nice little Death Nova onto all of Entropy's other goblins. But Rager charging headlong into the fight here. Not wanting to risk losing AP to Berserker from staying back. And that Moga Chef has got to get in there. Like, yeah, I know he's doing the flag bearer thing, but for one thing, there's no other Moga to improve the speed of. Well, I spoke too soon. There's a looking for work. And unfortunately, it does come in as a summon, but it is still, like these are some pretty great stats for a summon. I mean, there's no anti-summon around for the moment. But, oh yeah, and unfortunately, it's only Initiative 1, so that Zealot won't be able to make any attacks. I'd probably just sort of back off with the Zealot, like into improved speed range, then wait for a turn while Entropy goes into the font. Because you don't want to send this thing in. I mean, you just paid Nora to get it, right? If it goes in, it'll get pegged by Goblin Archer, it'll get shot at by Gloombringer and stuff. So, Geharon General wisely moving back, allowing Phayshift to potentially collect that Nora Globe. And there's the explosion after an Echo Chamber going down, so some great AoE damage onto these goblins. Phayshift actually not doing too well. Too bad for himself now. Because the thing is, I mean, both sides tend to field a lot of squishy champions, but goblins have a lot less... I guess if they it's sort of like they fall behind and they don't really have any contingency plan. Whereas Moga, they can just keep spamming deploys, get back into the game because of the SP bonus and whatnot. Goblins don't typically do too well in like these mid-font, skirmish fights where everyone just piles in. They have a lot of stealth. They have a lot of tricky stuff like the sticky fingers. A lot of real nuisance champions like the Spellkaiser that's hard to get rid of. So you basically want to harass fonts, like sort of like imps almost. Imps and goblins, they don't play exactly the same, but it's sort of similar. And that hex, ooh boy. And if I had a nickel for every time someone thought hex ignored defense, I would have a lot of nickels. I wouldn't have to keep using the shitty equipment. I'd be able to afford a microphone stand. I wouldn't have to hold this thing all the time. But yeah, that 7 defense on Bold really putting a damper on the Spellkaiser's efforts here. He has to send the Gloombringer in to finish that guy off. Wow, wait, the chef actually moved. Why did he move the okay. Well, I don't know if I would have moved the chef, like, right when... and then an acrid smoke, too. What? Okay, so he's blinding, and... oh, there's the creeper. So he actually walked into the creeper. I was waiting for him to try and to contest bot or something, but the creeper actually went mid. Interesting. So I don't know why he did the acrid smoke here. He could have gotten the kill, like, 2 different ways on this general. He could have moved the Gloombringer in for an attack, which I guess he tried to do, but he ran into the creeper. But yeah, you could have moved that in like this way for an attack, and then done the acrid smoke here, blinding this guy. You could have actually moved in the Gloombringer first, and then done the acrid smoke right on this spot, which would have blinded these guys and killed the general at the same time. Saved a bit of it would have saved a bit of AP on Gloombringer. But I guess with these 3 guys all blinded, I mean, you know, Entropy's not in too bad a place. The general will have to retreat. It won't be able to make an attack or anything. But yeah, I feel like moving the chef there kind of gimped Phayshift a little bit. I keep wanting to say phase shift, like phase shift the ability, but it's actually Phayshift. So he's doing the disease breath here. And yeah, he got rid of his own improved speed. So I think if the improved speed were still up, he could have maybe gotten that font with a relic or something using that zealot. But Rager takes the place of General for the moment, going in there, and he has Enrage 3, so he's gonna have a ton of damage if he gets attacked. The problem is, I don't think that Rager is gonna live. I mean, Arsonist can make 2 hits, Gloombringer can make 2 hits with the Blood Frenzy being empowering him. Then, or, you know, of course, Archer can make 2 hits. Like, that Rager is screwed. There is nothing in the world that will save him, except potentially a Whispers of the Mind onto the Gloombringer. And that general moves all the way back. He definitely doesn't want to keep that, want that general to die. Mogashef sticking around for the heal mass will help there. It will cost, Entropy another spell if he wants to kill it. And that Zealot, meanwhile, just biding his time, waiting, sussing out Entropy's options here. He should probably try and kill that Gloombringer before it goes off too hard with Leech Vitality. But the blind makes things difficult. Poor SP doesn't have any cleanse at all. I mean, they got relieve on some of their champions. They have the Slag with cleansing aura now, but they don't have anything like an herbal antidote to make their lives easier. They don't have cleansing emerald like they used to. So now it's just kind of, they're basically the new Underdepths in that regard, because even Underdepths has Bane Shift for spot cleanse if they want to run it, which I feel like more Underdepths players should do. Okay, so there's a boulder throw. That will help a little bit, I guess. He's still going to get, what is it, multi-1? Yeah, he's going to get 16 damage out of that Gloombringer. Then 14, and so another 28 by the Arsonist. I'm pretty sure he's still dead. Like if Entropy wanted to, he could use another spell, but spamming spells against Moga is not really what you want to do, because their champions are just so cheap that eventually you'll get overrun anyway if you don't invest enough into deploys. So there's actually a Mandate coming down, and Mandate is nice because that'll give the Arsonist a bit of a heal off of that Rager. I wonder if Phayshift is emulating the Raging now, raging at how OP goblins are. I don't think he is, but you know, goblins are usually kind of underestimated in terms of strength. You don't really appreciate some of their best units until they start getting the better of you. Like I like the insane CC options that Dirtbag can bring, for example. I like taking stall and blind on him so that he can just, you know, stall for a turn, then blind for a turn, and then do another stall, and then, you know, he runs away. not really the kind of champion you'd expect in Underdepth. It's more of like I guess more of like a Clear Forest kind of champion. The Spell Kaiser boldly teleporting forward here. Maybe going to do a spell on the general to finish him off. But I mean, that would be 2 spells that he's used, I guess, trying to kill that general and not succeeding. So the archer takes down that rager. And I don't know. I think if Gloombringer can live and start popping off with Leech Vitality, Entropy will be fine. But the problem is it's still in kill range here with Soothsayer being so close. And then I guess he could use a spell if he wants, but it does. This Zealot is a summon, so it won't be contesting the pawn. He's got to send something in there. Probably send in the chef. I guess Phayshift isn't running the relic. What's it called? Totem of the Muses. To keep his deploys going. With split personality actually onto that Zealot summon. So that will keep the Arsonist alive for the moment. Actually allow him to get a kill on that Zealot summon next turn. He's got to put that chef in the font though if he wants to stop the deploy. Unless there's a stealthed relic maybe a boulder trap that he's going to drop right here. I wouldn't be surprised to see a boulder trap here because then, well, no, it wouldn't save the Zealot. I don't think there's any way he can, like, he can't use Head of Asarius to kill this thing. Or wait, what am I saying? Head of Asarius is the Underdepths. I guess he could use another Echo Chamber if he really wanted to, but these days I don't think, I mean, double Echo Chamber is still pretty good, but I don't see it as often as just running one. After the, the Boulder Throw changes, Bad Blood usually takes up at least 2 slots compared to the Echo Chamber. Tough to say. He's got to deploy down here at this bottom font, otherwise Spell Kaiser will be all over that next turn. I'd like to see a Brute. I want to see Brute come down for Pummel and Camaraderie now. And okay, so he has a Savage Boar. That's good, I guess. Savage Boar. I mean, Savage Boar is kind of, he's not terrible, honestly. If he gets boosted like out of Geherenbound range, he can put out some crazy damage. He's got Hostile, charge 3. And then a Distract coming down. Woo! Look at the dancing Moga. So everyone's distracted. I guess that only works on the Arsonist, though. I would have probably distracted the Spell Kaiser, right? Because, I mean, a distracted Spell Kaiser is basically useless. But, I mean, distracting the Arsonist on 4 HP, I don't know if that's really worth it. Like, what would it, like, you sent the General in, why would you not just send in the Chef? I mean, just because of Bold? Maybe, but that General is still within spell kill range. And Entropy would still have to, eat AP killing that Zealot summon. Yeah, Arsonist gonna get a huge hit off. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, you see, sending in the Chef here would have been a lot better, because it wouldn't have died to the one hit from Arsonist. And you could have kept your General alive and healed it up or something. So, Phayshift slowly losing ground. And there's a Retribution on the Arsonist. I guess it doesn't kill the Soothsayer, but Spell Kaiser coming in, getting that globe might have given him enough Nora there. Finish it off. And Magic Beam coming down, I don't know if I agree with that. I think I would have just engaged. Because then, like, you engage him, you force him to spend more AP running away, and it would have done the same, like, basic attacking would have done the same damage as a beam, right? And if you engage first and make a basic attack and then he runs away, then you could have beamed him as he ran, because it's a ranged ability, right? But I guess he put down Head of Asarius instead. Yep, Head of Asarius. So that getting that Nor Globe gave him just enough to finish the Soothsayer off. So now the Chef goes in. Now he's doing okay. So well, he gets the globe of Soothsayer and backs off. He just wanted the tasty remains to put in his stew. So there's another Chef. See, I don't like Moga Chef. I don't know why people run it. I think there's so many better options for Moga. Like, especially after the last round of changes to stuff like Trapper and Slinger and Spell Snare. I think Chef just doesn't really do as much. Like, he has Heal, but you could run Cavern Spawn if you want a Heal Mass champion, and Cavern Spawn also has Relieve and Dispel as a utility option, Whereas Moga Chef is sort of just like, oh, I'll Disease Breath you for 5 damage. What do you fucking do, right? And then, the heal, but I don't know. I think Mocha also has like a Twisted Essence champion that they can run, don't they? But honestly, yeah, they're not my favorite. They just kind of sit back and do, you know, the breath every few turns. Not the best support champion in my opinion, but Goblin King coming down, deciding to take matters into his own scaly clutches. The pawn, wait, no, he doesn't have pawn. He has boost and dictate. All right. Usually I see him with pawn, but the disease breath finding the head of Asarius there. Moga don't do too badly playing a font down, but and you know, on this map versus goblins, I could see Phayshift making a comeback if he gets the right deploys. He needs another Geharon. I think Dirge is good, but he needs something else to keep the Savage Boar buffed up. So there's another disease breath. Now imagine if these chefs were slingers. Imagine how much better off Phayshift would be. But Moga Cannon, okay, interesting. So Moga Cannon is nice because he's one of the only Moga that doesn't have Geharon down. So he doesn't get penalized for being out of that Overseer radius. Probably not the best. I don't hate it. I mean, I think having a champion that can poke here is nice because I don't really see entropy hanging back with the with the Gloombringer and the low HP archer. But he's definitely going in with the Spellkaiser, planting a relic right in that font. And, that might be dangerous here for Phayshift because now he's got to divert Dirge over there, and probably the Chef as well, which will leave his other Moga without a Geharon to supervise them. And then, yeah, otherwise, I mean, that font is just going to go over to Entropy. So Entropy making some good gains here. Getting them gains, and he might even be able to, well, Dictate is still on cooldown for one turn. But you can get he's getting in each other's way. But yeah, Dirtbag can get a hit for 11. I wouldn't bother wasting a spell to kill that Chef, to be honest. Not worth it. He's just going to blind Dirge instead, which is fine. But then a price of victory comes down. All right, well, in that case, I probably would have killed the... like, if you're going to price a victory, I probably would have killed the Chef. Because then, then Dirge would have to go all the way up here to contend with the Spellkaiser, and then you could put pressure on the Shrine and stuff, right? It looks like we're going to get our first... That's actually our first Thievery of the game, and it actually steals Tough 2 from Dirge. Probably one of the best things he could have taken, to be honest. Alex Jones would be proud right now. He's got Tough 2 on all these goblins. And that's, honestly, I'd say that's probably the end of the game. I know I was talking about how Phayshift could make a comeback, but after that contest, I mean, I don't really see it happening. Because now, I mean, you don't even have the Chef, you need to send Dirge up here. And then these guys can't really do anything without some supervision. Like, even if they had a Geharon there, I don't really see Boar doing anything meaningful to 3 champions on his own. But he's going to try. He sure as hell can try, even though trying is the first step to failure. He's going to send that Dirge into the font as expected, and then I guess Cannon is going to... you're just going to wait around. He's going to bide his time. Probably not charging in with Boar either, because, he's just going to get myrtleized by the King and his accompaniment. It's good that... It's good for Phayshift that Entropy isn't putting pressure on this bottom font as well, because if he was doing both, like if he was sending like a cheap goblin down here to harass this font as well, like a Sticky Fingers or something, it definitely would be like. Okay, so there's the Geharon Thrower, so we do have an Overseer in play. Is he actually going to charge the King? That doesn't seem very wise. Okay, he's not. Okay, because I was thinking like that Gloombringer is still in Blood Frenzy range. Because of all the max HP that it's stacked up. So definitely want to stay out of his double hit range if you can. And then there's a Hex onto Dirge. Honestly, I don't really see Dirge winning this 1v1. Like he had to send Dirge up there just to get the font contested, but I don't think like Dirge will. He doesn't do too well versus one with Nora. Hex and all. Like he got that Spellkaiser can stall for way too long. There's a Gloombringer, and Goblin King takes his due. He takes Reflection 2. And I guess that'll help against Moga Cannon, but probably not the best thing he could have taken. Leech Vitality would have been great, I love seeing Goblin King steal strength of body from the Cropsic. That's always a fun time because he has 60 base HP, right? And then strength of body gives him, I think it's let's see, divided by, what is it? Divided by 4 or divided by 5? He gets like 8 damage from strength of body. And then you can steal stuff like Leech Vitality and then one with Nora from Spellkaiser. Goblins are a really fun theme. They are basically random, like a random, you know, probably the most RNG theme in the game. But, you know, sometimes you just need to roll the dice, man. Like, you need to roll the dice and see what you get. So Defiling Spinal here for, I guess, the Curse debuff, decreasing defense. It's really all I can see from that. He's gonna try and, I guess, just engage. Like, he's not gonna make any kills, but he is engaging, as he should when he has, you know, when he has his opponent on 3 fonts to 1. But that Gloombringer going to make his way towards bot side. And the head of Asarius unfortunately spawned in the lava, which will end up killing it. It's kind of funny actually, head of Asarius emerging from the lava in its art, and then it spawns on lava and it eventually just dies. Because neither the copies nor the original actually have immunity fire or anything. So we get an axe throw. I think I would have saved that axe throw until the hex is worn off. Just to, you know, just because you can get more damage, right? There's really no reason to axe throw just yet. And there is the Transfigure from Phayshift, so he is definitely not giving up. He's going to go for probably a Thunder Strike here to sap everyone's AP. I'm thinking he can actually kill... Oh yeah, he can totally kill that Gloombringer, because Savage Boar has Slam. So the hostile comes down. Oh, please don't disengage and try and charge. You got the kill. You got the kill with Slam. He's going to slam him right into that dirtbag. He might even get a double kill here, actually. Oh, wait. He's going for the king? Alright. Maybe he can still make it work. He's got the 1 slam hit, and then Thunder... Well, if he moves the Chef, the Avatar can get a basic attack and just, you know, kill it that way. Yeah, that's probably the better way to do it. And then I guess you could send your cannon over and... Maybe get a hit onto the Goblin King again. But actually, Entropy's Rush is sort of... It's doing well up top, but, you know, down bot, actually the game is sort of in control of Phayshift here. Because these goblins, I mean, they're not really that tanky. Like, they're half HP. This dirtbag is really overextended now, and you can't really make any more progress into these champions without additional help. I'm pretty sure Dictate is up though. You could maybe try and make a kill on this thrower. Wow, a Fading Recollection onto Dirge. That is completely unnecessary, my friend. You're gonna do a magic beam. Like, you had this font. Like, there's no way Dirge kills you soon enough for it to matter, right? That was a complete waste of Nora. Basically, like, in this position, you just want to keep deploying, right? You've got the Nora advantage. You don't need to be wasting Nora on Fading Recollection. I think that's almost enough for 2 goblins, right? So, I don't know. I think, like, Dirge would have taken way too long to kill that Spellkaiser to make that Fading Recollection worth it in any sense. Dirtbag, they're all going to town here on this boar. They're hungry. They want that pig meat. Stuff their goblin faces. Down to 8 HP on that boar. Man, if only you still had that head of Asarius over here, right? Yeah, well, I can't believe Entropy didn't have the Nora for a deploy. Even after that Fading Recollection, I feel like a Sticky Fingers or something like really cheap like that. He still would have had the Nora for that. But I guess not. Yeah, the charge coming in here from Dirge's guard. Followed by the bodyguard onto Boar. That's pretty nice. So Boar on 8 HP, still going to do work. It's worth noting, though, that Hostile is loss of life. So it will not be redirected to bodyguard. So he's got to be careful with that, but, you know, otherwise, he's doing okay. Oh, he's going to charge out of bodyguard range. Oh, no, he's not. Never mind, I just lied. He didn't charge out of bodyguard range. He did slam the Goblin King away, though. So he might have to move that Mogalord's guard a little further. He wants that boar to stay in the fight. Unfortunately, Moga Cannon's lumbering makes the kill on the on the king here impossible. Hern Thrower doesn't have enough to kill it, so Phayshift would have to use another spell. And honestly, if he does... Oh, well, looking for work is definitely not the spell of choice. That doesn't actually get you the kill there. Actually, what he could have done was throw that Zealot towards the Goblin King and got the kill that way. Instead, he moved the Zealot for some reason. Like the Zealot came in with 5 AP, right? And he could have used the Gaharan Thrower's throw to throw it into Goblin King's face and get the kill. But he did not. He did not. I wonder why. Maybe, I guess he's like under the clock, or maybe he's a little bit tilted. Who knows? Maybe, well, I just didn't think of it. Yeah, I get that a lot. Like, well, why didn't, like in some of my games that people sometimes observe on the Discord. Well, why didn't you just do this? It's like, well, I didn't think of it. Okay, it's because I'm an idiot. It just didn't occur to me at the time. You know, sometimes that happens, right? Sometimes you think you have a play, and it turns out that you didn't. You just didn't. But the slam, the knockback here from Boar, he's still in bodyguard range, but Gloombringer wants into that font. He's gonna have to get around the guard though, and guard is actually probably one of the best Moga in my opinion. Like for his price, like as a melee champion, if you've got Dirge in play, which you pretty much always will, because you're always gonna run Dirge in Moga. Like he comes in with some crazy stats, and you know bodyguard is awesome in Moga just because like. Guard has 3 base defense, which is always good for a bodyguard champion to have high defense. And you can protect your other Gaharan, like if your Gaharan get in trouble on the front line, you can just send a bodyguard in. Really valuable tool for a Moga deck to have access to. And wow, that guard is on 1 HP. 1 HP. He can get the kill with Dirtbag, I guess, right? Disengage there, but no, he's going for the Widowmaker instead. More Nora spent on not champions from Entropy. Does end up getting the kill, but he gets the kill on Boar as well, and things are slowly but surely starting to fall apart here for Phayshift. Like even if he's not deploying, like that's the thing. Like even if he's not playing it like technically properly, like he's still winning the game. Like there's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. And there comes a Goblin Archer, so he is keeping some deploys up. And what did King get? He got encouraged. It's pretty good. So another Hex, trying to keep that banner alive. Unfortunately, Dirge will be able to two-shot it. So King will go down, and we'll see if Entropy deploys another one, or if he'll even need to before the game is over. I feel like Phayshift is maybe not griefing, but I guess he doesn't realize that it's sort of over. Like he's not winning topside back. Like if Entropy plays it right, he's just gonna send. Well, no, it's tough to say. Like, cause Entropy really needs to start deploying more. That's really all it is. Like it's basically Gloombringer versus the world now. Like these goblins are not gonna be alive much longer. This one's dead. And then Dirtbag dies to the AoE. And then Phayshift could contest mid with a summon, or with a relic using that summon. Yeah, the Widowmaker there wasn't necessary. The Fading Recollection wasn't necessary. Like he could have really driven the nail into the coffin here for Phayshift, but he couldn't. He can't really seem to cinch the win. Now that the thrower is coming back up here, the Spellkaiser kind of has to be a little worried. Because he's got the melee champion in his face, which he can just teleport away from. But you can't really defend against a range and a melee combination. So he's going to be taking at least 1 hit every few turns. They are still physical hits, so he won't be taking 2. And a Protean Chains onto Goblin Spellkaiser? Really? Lumbering and Ponder. I mean, that doesn't prevent... It doesn't prevent teleport. So I don't know. I don't know what that was for. Kind of a waste of Nora, in my opinion. But Tyrant comes down, and yeah, see, Phayshift is doing the right thing. He's deploying all he's got. Tyrant's a great one, though, too. He's got Courage, so he's pretty tanky on low HP, and then Crushing Blow. I really like the new design of Tyrant. I think he's really the force to be reckoned with that he was always meant to be. Like he has a nice set of abilities that help him solo, like 1v1, but then he also has, you know, the Surge and the Overseer for synergy purposes. And he's 7 speed, so he has great stats. 1 to 2. And actually, Phayshift Wait, what? I think that was a little premature to surrender for entropy, but alright. I guess Phayshift managed to take the win there. That's kind of surprising. So well played to both, and we'll see everyone in the next one.